loves. It's Mani, and welcome to Beneath the Surface podcast. Today, we'll be talking about who I am without the noise. This episode is more so about self discovery, figuring out who you are outside of social media, outside of what people project onto you, whether it's family, friends, your beliefs, just really finding yourself. So, I hope that you like this episode, and thank you for stopping by and listening to what I have to say. So, let's dive into this episode. Okay, so first I want to start off with, if you're still figuring out who you are, that's perfectly fine. Okay, I'm only 22. I don't have everything figured out. I feel like I have a good sense of direction, but I don't have everything figured out. I'm not perfect. So this episode is more so just for us to be honest, which is completely fine. And a lot of us probably will go through different phases in life where you feel like you have to find yourself again, or you start to realize like this isn't working for me. I just want better, or I want different. So that's what this is for. Okay, so the first thing I want to touch on is social media identity versus yourself. So we're going to use myself as an example. I start to show a little bit more of my personality on my page because at first, unintentionally, I feel like my page was turning into like an aesthetic. Like, I love to travel. I graduated from school, but I feel like you can't really see my personality. And people told me I need to smile more, but if you know I'm always laughing, giddy. I feel like I'm always smiling. So I decided to, start posting a little bit on TikTok so you could really see me over there because Instagram is really still too perfect for me. But I have started smiling, being a little goofy on my page. But when people tell me like, "Oh, I thought you were mean," or "I thought you were a certain way," because I do have a resting B face, so I get it. But I'm the life of the party. I'm always the friend people talk to for like advice, or just need listening ear, just strangers, really, people from school, whatever the case may be. But so that's what I'm saying. Like my social media presence, you probably wouldn't have guessed any of that, which is fine because I love kind of being a little bit mysterious. Sometimes I do go missing, but yeah, it's just really posting like a little bit of my hobbies more. So I started posting like books I would read or different things like that, or me going to do yoga, not really my meditation, but just showing people a little bit more of me because I realized y'all don't really even understand like a little bit of my journey or like a little bit of what I do. So I started posting more, so when I start this podcast, people can fully understand. Like, oh, okay, like that's what you do. Also, it's like with social media, I kind of had to grow out of like the aesthetic or like I don't know, people around me, like, or what I was seeing. Not even gonna say like around me because a lot of my friends don't care for social media or Instagram. So it's like I would see like the photo shoots and the perfectness, and I would just get tired of it because it's like social media wasn't like, well, Instagram wasn't like that back in the day, right? You could post whatever, do whatever, say whatever, but now it's like if your picture is not aesthetically pleasing, you don't want to post it, or people don't love it, or share it, whatever case may be. And we gotta scratch that. We gotta scratch feeling like something gotta meet a standard or it's compared to like other people's lifestyles or what they're doing, because it don't matter at the end of the day. I feel like, as somebody who cared but didn't really care on social media, I more so cared about like if I really like my pictures, not if the next person like them, if it's gonna get enough shares, if this is the right vibe or the right aesthetic or the right type of outfit. Who cares, bro? Wear what you want to wear, do what you want to do, express yourself in a way that makes you happy or makes you comfortable. So me, I've kind of always been more on the natural side of things. So we love a good twist out, braid out, braids, like protective styles. I didn't really always care for like quick weaves, wigs in general. Sometimes I do put them on. I do, but it's not often. And it's like I had to get comfortable like with posting my hair and stuff like that. So when I get the girls that just love the stories, I love y'all, like, or when I post more about my books or what I'm doing and I get more people that interact with me. And it's like, I kind of get more comfortable posting those things. I'm like, okay, so people do want to see this, but at the same time, I am a person that's like, I don't really care. I'm gonna post what I want to post, whether it's aesthetically pleasing or not, whether you like it or not, whether it's too political for you or whatever the case may be. But I did have to break myself from like not wanting to post because I did not post. I did not care to nothing. I love being the ghost behind the scenes, but like I said, to do this podcast, I kind of had to break that. So I'm not saying that everything is based off social media. Take away Instagram, take away TikTok, whatever. Who are you? Like me, I learned that I am just this chatterbox. When I'm comfortable with you, I love volunteering at the school I go to because being around the youth just makes my heart smile. When I was in college, I loved planning events and being a part of student government, whether I had a big turnout or not. It still was something that meant a lot to me. Like, because those few people, I feel like as long as I impacted you for the day, that's all that matters. So I kind of realized like maybe you do like the leadership aspect of things, but I feel like I have anxiety. So when I'm in front of a large group or put up for a presentation, my heart start racing, hands start shaking, voice is like, I need some water. Like, I start to get nervous. So I kind of had to start with those small events and build myself up. Like to do this took a lot, I promise you. But I am more of a natural health and wellness person, mental health, read your books, eat right person. So when you're around people who don't really see that or really care about that, it can be difficult because then you're just like, oh, this is draining to explain, or it's like people don't really understand me, but they do. So just gotta find those people in a way, or just really be in a place where loving yourself, you just really don't care. Because that's what I'm saying. I don't really care who get it, who understand it, who don't, who support it. I don't really care. So that's where I'm kind of at with that topic, I feel like, because I don't really want it to run too long. But like I was saying, you wouldn't have guessed any of that from the vibe that I was giving you on my page. But it's not real, okay? A lot of those people who live these lives that you see, or, you try to keep up with, some of it's just not even real. So it don't even matter. But outside of social media, because I do believe you need to put these phones down, touch some grass, go out to eat, plan the dates with your friends, sniffing your other once a month, every week, whatever you can do. Please take those breaks. Find what you love to do, even if you don't know what it is. Take that time to figure it out. Because me, I grew up playing a game, right? Watching YouTubers. So now I might watch streamers a little bit, not all the time. And it's more so gaming than like streaming. I might play the game a little bit, might read a book, might go on a trip, might go to the park, might go to a UFL game because we don't have an NFL team here, but just doing things that makes me happy. I love going to find new books, going to the bookstore. It's like, but at one point in time, it's like I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I just didn't really have the strength or the courage to go do those things, you know? And it kind of just came from like me telling myself like, oh, eventually I'll go. Like once I get my hair done, I'll do this, or once I do this, I'll do that. And this, and everything just fall into place. But you truly have to get up and go and just do the things that you say you want to do or you want to experience, because you never really know what you like or what you can do or what you will do until you do it. So my advice for you is just go out, try things. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you tried it. At least you can say that you tried it and find something else. Maybe you might not like going to the gym, but you might like yoga, you know? So you just never know until you try. Okay. I think that's all I have to say for that part. Just be yourself and love yourself. Next topic. Okay, so this next one is pressure to perform, compare, or be perfect. So with this, it was more so finding myself and comparing myself to like what others were doing. Like I'm gonna say college. Let's give you this example. Like what others were doing on college, like on campus, to be perfect, and it was like to perform. So since I was in student government, people would look at me for an example for things. I wouldn't really say look up to me, but like look at me as an example. Like they would tell you, you have to dress this way, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do that, to be here. Whoa. First off, honey, full-time student, and I work full-time hours with full-time bills. I can only do so much, But it was stressing me out because I was in a relationship, whatever. It ended or it was coming to an end, whatever. So I honestly felt like everything just started to become a lot. And within that relationship, I felt like I gave so much that I kind of like lost myself in a sense. And it was like me finding like myself all over again and how to be alone and navigating these events at school, plus being in and out the hospital, hosting events from the hospital, dog. Like, it was just a lot. So the pressure to perform and be perfect and comparing myself, like you would like have people saying like, oh, this class did this for an event and this was this, or you need to do this. And it's just like, y'all not even understanding how much I'm even dealing with right now. Like, plate is full, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really compare myself to nobody, but I did feel that pressure of like, I have to represent for my class. I have to push out these events, even if it's a small amount of numbers, like of people who come to the event. I want it to impact you. I want you to leave here knowing something, feeling heard, feeling seen, or just tell me what you need. Because I was having like surveys, what resources do you need? What events do you want to see? Like, what is it? You tell me. I'm here to support you, you know? So that's the example I'm gonna give y'all. But to you, I want to say never compare your journey to nobody else's because nobody's journey in life is the same, ever. In school, your journey may be different. Some people might finish before you. You might finish after people. That's fine because sometimes you want to change like your major or what you want to do. So things can change. Outside of school, let's go back to high school. My senior year, I was so close to not even going to college. Because COVID did me dirty. Like, I lost any like drive or motivation that I had and picked it up like late July, early August when school was supposed to start. So never rush your journey. Never feel like you don't know what you're gonna do, so you're not gonna do anything. Like, no, maybe let's try. Like, if you do one semester at college or 1 year, you feel like it's not for you, that's fine. Maybe it's a trade, maybe it's starting your own business, maybe it's a job that you love that you would have never thought of, you know? Maybe it's influencer, rapper, streamer, who really cares? As long as you're happy and you're making money, it is what it is. But never feel like you have to have things figured out because right now with this generation, I know a lot of us like feel like if we don't have a car or an apartment or a steady job or going to school, finishing school, in a relationship, starting a family, then we don't have life figured out. But once again, everybody's life is different, everybody's journey is different. So never feel like because this person graduated college and is about to get this type of job, I should have my life figured out. No, 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 no. It's completely different. And honestly, the life we were promised, we don't even see it. Go to school. Once you finish, you start working at this company. By this time, you start putting money into your 401k, you have your retirement, you'll be set up for success. Honey, that's not true. Look at the world right now. So, my biggest thing that I stress to everybody is to truly live in the moment and do what makes you happy because we don't know what's to come. We don't. So, be happy in your space. Don't compete, don't compare, don't, especially through social media. Just don't worry about yourself doing what makes you happy. So for me, another example, it was reading books, doing yoga, meditation, things that I said I always wanted to do, but I never really had the strength or the will to do. But it's like I knew I wanted to do those things deep down. And I did try other things that I just really didn't care for. Like, came to know that I'm not a club person. I'll probably go for your birthday, but it's not really my scene, my cup of tea. And it's okay. Like, some people love to go to church. Some people love to travel. Some people just love to work. Some people just here. And that's fine. So whatever your path is, truly sit in it, learn it, find yourself, love yourself because it's nobody else like you in the world. It's just not. Okay? So don't try to fit in or be a part of something that you know your heart is not in and you know it's not you. So don't compete, don't compare. And we're not perfect. Nobody is truly perfect at the end of the day. Okay? Your perfectness is your love for yourself. Next, I want to talk about rediscovering your life outside of expectations. I per se didn't really have any expectations put on me, like I would say for college or anything. it was more so like, oh, she go. Some family members like, no, you're going to go. But it was like uncles and stuff like, no, you're going to go. I see it now. You're going to go. You're going to graduate. You're going to go far. And at one point, I didn't even really believe that myself because, like I said, COVID. I was like, yeah, I don't care about school, and it was unusual for me because I was a person who, junior year, I had it all figured out. I was going to apply to Duke. I'm going to apply here. I'm going to FAMU. I'm going to do this. I'm playing this. I'm playing that. And then when senior year came and we were still dealing with COVID, I was just like, yeah, I don't care. I applied to a couple of schools, or it was really slipping my mind because I was working at the time too. So it was just like too much going on. And as I was realizing it, I was like, let me put this application in here, there, and there, and just be done, which I kind of do regret. But at the same time, everything happens for a reason. I ended up going to my school, Harrisville State University, the only HBCU in St. Louis, Missouri, on a scholarship. So I didn't think that I was going to stay here at all. I thought I was going to go to a school in a whole different state. HBCU though, I knew that. But I am grateful that I had that experience at my school and my scholarship. So you just never truly know how things are going to work out. But if you have a family who believes that you have to go to school or you have to do this, I just say try and go. If you feel like you get to school and you want to change your major, change it. Do what makes you happy because okay. In high school, I always had a business, so I kind of knew that I wanted to major in business, but I also thought about like double majoring or a major and minor like with business and psychology, but they told me like, no, sister, you got to pick one. You can't do both. So I picked business because in my heart, I kind of always felt like I never really wanted to work for anybody else. So that's why I stress if you got to change that major, change it. Because once you start taking those classes, doing those internships, you really figure out like what's for you, what's not. Like that's how I kind of felt and figured out business is for me, but not in the aspect of like customer service sitting on the phone with you all day because I did that with fast food and customer service and it drove me crazy, you know? So never feel pressured to finish a certain major or people feel like you should do this because this makes the most money or, you'll finish faster. No, 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 no. Try different courses, see what works for you. Go tour the schools if you can. I know that's hard because I probably only went to like one school tour, but we hit like multiple schools or something like that. To see the campus, see the environment, do your research on the school, the laws, the state, like anything about where you're going to move or where you're going to be living. Because I want you to feel comfortable and ready for your experience and not walking into like, what is this? What food do they serve? How's the football team? What do the dorms look like? Mold in the dorms? Absolutely not. There were no mold in my dorms. But I've seen it on TikTok, okay, from certain schools. So it's just like, definitely figure out if this school is where you want to go to because once you start getting those loans and taking them out, baby, it get expensive and it get hard. So I know a lot of people on social media get these degrees in certain fields and they hate it or they can't find a job right after school. So even if you're doing something like that requires you to go to like school after that again, like do a residency, like healthcare or something like that related or law, it's like in that in between time until you can go into the next program, it's like figure out what you want to do next, but never lose your happiness, your spark, or your hobbies because that is truly what keeps you pushing, right? Pulling it back though to expectations. If you grew up around people who didn't really go to college or you don't have anybody to talk to those people like those experiences about, definitely try to go on TikTok and YouTube. For me, I am a first gen student, so none of my siblings went to school, like to college. So it was hard for me, but luckily I had a cousin who went to college and he went and got his master's. So I could talk to him a little bit about schools and that whole process. But it's like I also didn't want to be like overbearing. So it's okay to be the first one to go to college or the first friend or whatever the case may be. It's just like, just do it for you and make sure you have the motivation behind it because that's all that matters. Don't go because you feel like you're being forced or your family is forcing you or your teachers, whoever was forcing you. Like maybe they do see something in you that you don't see. So maybe you should give it a try. It's not going to hurt just to try one semester in 1 year. Maybe you're doing it to better the environment that you're living in. Like maybe you just want a different environment, different change of scenery. Who knows? I don't know your life. I'm not here to figure it out, but I am here to give you a little bit of support, like the support that I kind of needed making these hard decisions. So once again, never feel pressured to go to college or to have it all figured out, because you can go undecided. And then once you get to school, just take your general courses, get those out the way, and then figure out what you want to like put your main focus into, Once again, don't feel pressured. And if this whole experience to you is new and your family, it's okay. It's definitely people out here with the resources to help you in the community or your school. So just ask around. And if your school is providing it, that's what TikTok and YouTube is here for, right? Okay. Now that we talked about that, it's also important not to listen to what others think your life should be, or like other people's opinion, because no matter how much you acknowledge it or how much you think about it, their opinions on life and decisions can heavily persuade you. So as some people think like, no, you shouldn't go there because their football team is bad, or I heard so much about this school and it's so violent, or this, that, and the third, and this is no. Because oftentimes it's projections from their insecurities or their thoughts, right? So somebody could tell you, oh, you wouldn't fit in at that school. Like, that school is upbeat, it's bougie, it's this, it's that. Until you go there, you never really know. And also your experience is what you make it. If you sit in a room in the dorm all day, you don't get out, you don't do anything, how would you know? And outside of school, right? Say if you don't want to go to college, college isn't for you. Okay, maybe let's look at a trade. A 9 to 5 is not your everything, like what you have to do for the rest of your life, even if you work a 9 to 5, because I understand there are people who are living paycheck to paycheck and have kids and have responsibilities, but sometimes you can get paid for your hobbies or your interests, like, what I'm saying? So it's important to figure out like who you are, what you love to do. And like I said, it took me some time. Like, I thought I had it all figured out, but I kind of like lost myself and then had to find myself again and realize that certain things just don't work for me anymore. Like, once you learn to truly love yourself and appreciate everything that you kind of have, because some things we're so fortunate to have that we don't realize, it's like everything else starts to kind of click. So don't force it. Some things you just have to learn on your own. And it comes with like healing and, getting rid of self-doubt and being scared, because I'm still nervous doing this episode, right? I'm still healing from things. I'm still learning new things. I don't seem as a person, I don't want to seem as a person who has it all figured out or I'm perfect, because I'm not, far from it. Actually, I probably made dumber decisions that you'd be like, girl, you should know that from the jump. And I was like, no, I didn't think about it that way. Like, so before we get a little sidetracked, don't listen to other people's like opinions, because you can be persuaded, whether it's like big or small. It just run in the back of your mind. But my thing that I want you to realize is you never really know until you try. So just try it out. And at least when you do it, you can say, well, I tried and it didn't work for me. That's okay. Not everything is going to be for everybody. But for example, this podcast is like, well, what if it doesn't reach the right audience I want it to reach? Or, what if people not really understanding what I want to say? Or, just my thoughts were like my biggest like doubts, because it's like, well, Monty, how will you know if you don't really try? Like, or going to school is like, I don't really want to go to school for another 4 years. I don't want to be in debt. Thankfully I wasn't. Like, will I meet new friends? Like, how will that go? But I was slowly but surely, talking myself out of it. And like I said, I started to slip at the end of my senior year. So it's like, I don't even care about doing homework. That's really draining. It's really annoying. But the teachers are harder. But I was in on this program, so it was hard, but it wasn't too hard. And then you got the resources, you got the teachers, you got study hall. So it's just in your mind. Your mind can be your biggest doubt and your biggest hater. So it's try to break yourself from that. Also, I want to say, like, when it came to like me reading books or doing whatever I want to do now, I will always find a reason. Like, I don't really want to do yoga because what if I'm sore? Or what if it's not what I expected it to be? Or like reading books, I was never really one growing up who would like always be in a book, like to sit down and force me to read a book. But now I can. I love reading books. I can't wait to read my book, whether it's on my iPad or a physical book, because I like to go back and forth between the two sometimes. But it's really finding what you really like to read. Like me, it's more motivational, healing things that I love to read, like self-development, self-growth books. Some people love horror, romance, whatever gets you going, it gets you to reading. But even then, it's like I kind of had to train myself on like how to read a book again. Like, and I know that might sound crazy, but from my aspect, it's like I'm not used to just sitting here reading for an hour or two or however long I want to read for, just flipping through the books without getting distracted or wanting to scroll on TikTok. So it's like I kind of have to force myself to read like a couple pages a day, and then a couple pages turn to a couple chapters. Like, so don't feel like you have to start reading all of it at once and doing all of it at once. Like journaling, I love journaling. That is my piece. That's how I can figure out how I'm feeling, what I'm feeling, and why I'm feeling it. You know what I'm saying? But I've been journaling since a kid. Unintentionally, I used to have a diary. um, so journaling for me, it wasn't really too hard. It was always an outlet, especially when I felt like I didn't really have anybody to talk to, or nobody really understood what I was saying or where I was coming from. Or I just didn't have that safe space. So journaling was my outlet, and it's something that I've been doing for years. So that just kind of came easy to me. But when my friends or people that I know ask me about it, I just tell them start small. Like you don't have to go in there writing full pages and like, because you don't. But then they're like, well, what do I say? I said, well, what do you feel? Like, like, what do you feel? So just start by writing a date, because that's what I do. I love to keep a date. I start by writing a date. And I'm like, what's one thing that you want to talk about right now? And they start with that. I said, well, then just start with that. And if you can't think of one thing, just how are you feeling? Like, how are you feeling? Or what's something you want to say, but you don't want to say out loud? Like, or you can look up journaling prompts. So with that, I look at it like an overall reset. Like I do a monthly reset of how my month went, what I expected from it, what did I do, what could I change, what I'm looking forward to next month, or when I'm feeling down, like journal prompts like what are you feeling? Like, it's different things for different, goals. I got one for goals, like where do I see myself in the next 5 months, in the next year, 2 years, like what do I want out of life? So I just look at journaling as a source of like talking to myself, believing in myself, and kind of being comfortable, like loving myself and figuring out all the things that I might not say out loud or what's next. And you don't have to tell everybody everything. So journaling is good for that. Some things are better kept to yourself. But that's just my outlet. And that was my part of telling you, like, everything is not like perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out, but for you, figure out what works. And there's no expectations of who you should be, what you should be doing, even when you feel like it's something that you were born into. Like you feel like, oh, well, my family did this all these years, so why do people expect different out of me? Or none of my friends really went to school, so I don't really think I want to go to school. Or whatever the case may be. Some people are good in life where they at, and we still young, so everything don't have to be serious, but you do have to have priorities. You do have to have goals if you want to change your life. You just can't wake up one day and just be like, I should be rich by now. But what are you doing to be rich? What are you doing to be financially stable if not rich? If you know you want to have kids and you want your kids to live a better life than you did, what steps are you taking right now to set yourself and your kids up for the future? You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm putting down? Like, it's all a process, and you do have to heal from things that you don't talk about, whether it's traumas or maybe you don't have any. Maybe you live a pretty decent life and you're good. You just been happy and you just want to change some things. Start reading those books. Start watching some podcasts or something. Just going out and talking to different people, because you never know who you can meet and how they can impact your life. So that's all I really have to say about rediscovering yourself. It's just really truly loving yourself and finding what makes you happy, what brings you peace. And it might not be what all your friends are doing, what your family doing, what you see on social media. It might be totally different, and that's okay too. So remember that. I kind of want to talk about like listening to other people's opinions and just a little bit of advice, something to leave you with, like all over, just kind of the ending. So in life, everything happens for a reason, and no matter how hard or difficult things seem, please believe that everything happens for a reason. You might not understand it now, but maybe a month down the road, 5 months, a year, 2 years, you'll be like, oh, it all makes sense. Like I couldn't see it then, but I see it now. That was my motivation, or that was my reason why. That was for me to keep going. Everything happens for a reason, and I know things can get hard to the point you're like, all right, I know God gave his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers, but it's like, all right. It's like, all right, like, what are we doing? Like, hello. It's okay to outgrow people. It doesn't mean that you're acting funny or you're being different, nothing like that. Just you realize that you kind of want better for yourself and you don't want to be around things that are holding you back, or you kind of want to just heal from them, or you just want better. So I'm gonna leave you with my favorite saying: everything truly happens for a reason. Definitely, it's okay to make new friends or meet new people, travel, and if you can't do those things, it's okay to read books, find yourself, find what you love to do, whether it was things that used to make you happy as a kid. So playing outside, joining a kickball team, meeting new people, trying new restaurants. Like I just seen on my TikTok the other day, it's a kickball team getting started here. So you never know. It's probably like-minded people, or people that want to do the same things that you want to do. So if you're somebody who's stuck in the house because you feel like people just don't do the things that you want to do, you never know. And it's okay to feel alone or be alone, because as somebody who loves their space, sometimes I just don't want to be bothered, or sometimes I feel like my space is what brings me peace. It gives me time to think, refocus. So that's okay too. But just truly live in the moment, because with everything that's going on, we don't really know what to expect from our life or what can really happen next. And at the end of the day, you're the star of your own movie, and you're what matters at the end of the day. And I'm so glad to have you here. Whether you're fighting tough battles, silent battles, whatever you feel alone, just know that you're loved, you're heard, and you're seen. And I'm so glad that you took the time to sit with me today and listen to what I have to say. I'm still getting used to these episodes and recording myself, so I hope that this was a good first episode. And be sure to go on my Instagram page, Beneath with Monty, because we will let me have beneath the surface, and fill out those links, and leave topics of what you want to hear. I do have a segment. It's called DM Diary. So once I get enough story times or topics, we can just do like a little random episodes here and there talking about that. Whether you want to hear something from me or something that you have to say, I want to hear it all, and I want to talk about it all. So this is a space for love, community, and positivity. So I don't do negativity. So, and if you feel like this video wasn't for you, then that's okay. Maybe we'll have another one, because all of my topics aren't going to be the same. I kind of want to touch on a little bit of everything. So I hope to see you back here. I hope that you did love this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.